Welcome to another edition of Fireside Financials. In this episode, we are going to be talking about why money is never just about the money or the numbers. So why are we talking about this? Well, oftentimes it's framed as simply, to be good with money, you need to put together a budget, track what's coming in, what's going out, and if you just have the tools and systems, everything will be all right. And that's just not the case. So to reduce money to simply being about the numbers really leaves out, I would arguably say, the biggest part of dealing with your finances, which is the personal side of personal finance. All the money beliefs, the stories, the scripts, what your relationship to money is. And that's what ultimately drives the show beneath the surface, not the tools and systems. Those are helpful, but if your foundation, right, your beliefs and scripts isn't solid, then no matter what tools you put on top of it, they won't work, or at least won't work as well as they could. Now, why this is so important is because so many people feel guilt and shame around not being good with money because they feel like, oh, everyone else is good at it, or I'm now an adult, I should be good at it. But the problem is, many of us were never taught to handle money or how to manage money. It wasn't talked about openly in our families, or just, money isn't this thing that you naturally get good at with age. It's like, I never learned how to play basketball, so I suck at basketball, but also I'm not expected to be good at basketball simply because I'm an adult. But money, it's treated very differently, where as soon as you are out of, or I guess somewhat adulting, you're kind of expected to be good with it, which isn't really fair. So I think it's important to talk about this so we can help reduce the shame and guilt around it for people who are told they should be good at it, but don't feel like they are. So one of the things that I have felt my money beliefs growing up was that I had to work hard in order to make money or make good money. This is something that was, I would say, modeled to me by my dad. I think I internalized it when he would work summers at times. He would also work nights as a community college teacher. And so I just got that, to make enough money for us to live, that it would take a lot of hard work. I actually internalized it so much that when my mom was earning like $75 an hour as an editor, I actually made fun of her, which now I feel like an asshole for, because I was like, that is so much money. How could anyone ever earn that much money? And just to do editing, what is that? It doesn't look that hard. So yes, I was kind of a dick as a child at times. And that strong belief had me think that, oh, well, that's not that hard, and yet you're earning that much money. Yes, I've come a decent way since the little shithead kid at 16 when I was saying that. Maybe that was as old as 19. Anyway, neither here nor there. Now, for entrepreneurs, for people who run their own business, this idea of you have to work hard to make enough money is really, really bad and can be really damaging because, yes, there is a correlation between how many hours you work and the amount of money that you make. At least early in your business, it is helpful to put in a good amount of time to get things off the ground. But it's not the case that if you just punch the clock, that money comes out the other end. When I was in the first couple of years of Be Also Not Broke, I'd work 10 to 12-hour days, and yet I could have gotten everything I needed done in 6, if not less, if I would have stepped away, take that extra 4 to 6 hours I was working, and say, I'm actually working on the most important stuff. Is this the stuff that really moves my business forward? Is this the smartest thing I can be doing? But I had this really ingrained link between hard work and money that I just put my head down and kept doing what I was doing no matter what, even if it wasn't really efficient, or I guess it could be efficient, but it wasn't effective. So for entrepreneurs, this is a really not bad, I don't want to give you the finger wag of shame, but it's a really challenging belief to get through, and it's one I've been trying to dance with for a while. So just taking a look at my notes here, how to define what your money stories or money scripts are. A helpful way to do that is to think about when you use very declarative statements, such as I am this, or I am stupid when it comes to this, or I am always this way or I am never this way. Like I'm never good with money or I am always, X, Y, or Z. What that does is allows you to hear, right? Because nothing is really ever true all of the time or none of the time with humans. I mean, gravity is a constant, but we're talking about human behavior here. So that can help you see, okay, here's this belief I have, and take a look under that, right? So if you say, I always do X, it's like, well, is that always true? Or if I always suck at money, is that always true? When is it true? When is it not true? And start to unpack kind of what those stories are and where they might have come from. Now beware, when you start to unpack those things, money is attached to so many different areas of our lives, our relationships with ourselves, relationships with others, our sense of self-worth. So when you dig up, some other stuff inevitably will come up, but it's definitely worth the work doing so. So one thing I'll just add at the end is we all got baggage. We all struggle with certain beliefs around money. So you are not alone. As my mom says, you're special, but you're not unique. Thanks, Mom. So, I just say this because so many of us can go through our struggles thinking that we're on an island, thinking that we're alone, and not understanding that the outward image that other people present of themselves is not really what's going on. So if we can let down our guard a bit, be vulnerable when appropriate, and connect with others, we'll be able to see that not everyone has their shit together in the way that we think. We're not the only ones that are struggling, and we can start to then integrate and repair the parts of ourselves that have been hurt or that have really struggled with money. And then once we heal those, you'll be able to then put on top of that the tools, systems, and structures that'll help you be really good and feel more confident when managing your money. Any questions, comments? Put them down in the comments below. And if you have any ideas for future episodes that you'd like to hear, put them in the comments as well. See you next time.